Hello, my name is Gracie Campbell. In America today, the legalization of marijuana for recreational use is a popular debate. Citizens from across the country, ranging from different political beliefs, backgrounds, genders, and races, all have differing opinions on the legalization for recreational use of weed. However, I believe the recreational use of weed should be illegal. It is important to understand why marijuana is harmful and the consequences for its legalization. Marijuana has negative effects on physical and mental health, is a gateway drug, and the legalization of weed can have serious negative societal costs. While some may argue of the medical benefits, I believe marijuana use should not be legalized for recreational purposes. To ensure the safety and prosperity of America now and in the future, marijuana use should be diminished. To begin, it is important to understand what marijuana is and where it came from in order to understand why it should be illegal. Marijuana is a plant grown around the world. It has several names, for the most popular being weed, grass, or pot. The Department of Justice and Drug Enforcement Administration informs readers marijuana is a psychoactive, mind-altering drug produced by the cannabis sativa plant. It can be created in both indoor and outdoor settings, and typically marijuana is smoked in a cigarette or cigar form, typically called a joint or a blunt. Innovations in the cannabis industry have allowed much easier access to weed by adding it to teas or food. However it is ingested, the negative effects of marijuana are similar on the brain. So this is a photo of what marijuana is. Cannabis is the plant, or otherwise called hemp, and it's usually bright green in color, and it is grown in hot and humid climates. And this is pictures of how weed is used today. There's over 300 types of edibles. It can be used in candy, teas, desserts, or really any foods. It can also be used in hash and concentrate, so there's wax and liquid THC. There's also electronic carts for easier use, and then the buds or flowers, which are typically smoked in the joints or the blunts. Now that you have a clear understanding of what marijuana is, what are the negative effects? First, marijuana negatively affects users' mental and physical state. In the article titled How Marijuana Cannabis Affects the Body, published by Medical News Today, it described the serious physical consequences when smoking weed. The article states, according to CDC, research has linked cannabis use with numerous negative health consequences. These include memory problems, heart disease, risk of stroke, lung problems from smoke, and mental health symptoms such as those related to anxiety and paranoia. Additionally, symptoms can include impaired processing speed, respiratory problems, and impaired executive functioning. Furthermore, withdrawal symptoms can be extremely uncomfortable, yet different for every user. The article goes on to state that for those under 25 years of age, cannabis use can impair memory and learning ability. Using cannabis can additionally cause mood swings. The physical side effects of smoking weed can be uncomfortable, life-threatening, and decrease the quality of life after use. For young users, it also negatively affects growth and development. Marijuana use also has terrible effects on users' mental health. Those who use marijuana are more likely to develop temporary psychosis, not knowing what is real or fake, hallucinations, paranoia, and long-lasting mental disorders, including but not limited to schizophrenia. However, it is important to understand the other side. Many people believe in the legalization of marijuana. I believe marijuana use for recreational purposes should be illegal, but it could benefit in a controlled medical aspect. Using the cannabis plant can have a positive effect on the recovery and functioning of patients with certain conditions or health problems. An article published by the National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health states, in addition, some evidence suggests modest benefits of cannabis for chronic pain and multiple sclerosis symptoms. If marijuana is accessed in a controlled facility for health purposes, it can be used in a positive way. I've seen this in my personal life as well. Someone I know recently had surgery on his foot, but wanted to stay away from opioids. or other painkillers. As many people know, painkillers can be extremely dangerous, and the road to addiction can be scary and hard to get off of. So he talked to his doctor about using medical marijuana as a form to relieve the pain. This form of treatment did work in easing the pain and made recovery smoother. Stories like these cause me to believe that when marijuana is distributed in a medical and controlled setting, it can have health benefits introduced in a safer way than when used recreationally. Furthermore, the use of medical marijuana can be used for patients dealing with depression or anxiety. When given in healthy amounts and with ensured product safety, marijuana can ease patients' thoughts and allow them to relax. This is a positive benefit of marijuana. However, I believe if the marijuana is not supplied from a hospital where the safety can be ensured, it can have serious negative side effects, which is why recreational use of weed should be illegal. Furthermore, recreational marijuana use can lead to the use of harder drugs and substance abuse. America Addiction Centers record the impact of the first use of marijuana. They state, following alcohol, marijuana and tobacco were widely used as second and third substance of choice, and less than 6% of respondents experimented with marijuana after having already used 3 other substances. Without the use of marijuana, addiction to harder drugs, including meth, opioids, cocaine, and other substances, would lessen. Those who use marijuana have a higher risk of addiction or dependence to other more harmful drugs. Additionally, marijuana has a negative impact on society as a whole. While most people do not initially realize it, marijuana use ultimately harms those around them, not just the user themselves. In an article titled, "Should Recreational Marijuana Be Illegal?" they write, marijuana use harms more than just the person using the drug. Societal costs of marijuana use include paying for increased emergency room visits, medical care, addiction treatment for the uninsured, victims of drug driving accidents, and more workplace accidents. Legalizing marijuana would put more and more harmful substance in our society that costs more than the revenue that it even generates. Driving while under the influence of marijuana has become a major problem in the U.S. Marijuana has been proved to cause more accidents. The National Highway Traffic Society surveyed 9,000 drivers in a nearly 2-year-long study of alcohol and drug use by drivers. It found that marijuana users were around 25% more likely to be involved in a car crash than those who were sober while driving. These crashes negatively affected other sober drivers who had nothing to do with the weed itself. Also, pregnant mothers who use marijuana put their unborn children at risk for serious health problems when they are born. Babies whose mother used marijuana are born at a lower, more unstable weight, as well as develop with abnormal neurological functioning. Finally, the Journal of the American Academy of Psychiatry and Law performed a study to better understand the relationship between cannabis use and crime. Their research findings state, of the 19 studies reviewed in this article, 14 identified a relationship between cannabis use and violent or aggressive behavior in specific study and under circumstances. The specific areas of risk include cannabis withdrawal and offending populations. If the recreational use of weed was illegal, crime rates could be lower and America could be a safer place overall. Clearly, marijuana use can harm society and future generations. This is important to understand and consider while deciding if recreational use of weed should be legalized. To summarize, recreational use of weed has many negative side effects. Using marijuana can have a negative consequence on physical and mental health. Marijuana can cause conditions from heart and lung disease all the way to mental health disorders like schizophrenia. Furthermore, weed is a gateway drug which is dangerous to the growth and development of society and the future. While marijuana does offer medical benefits, overall the recreational use of weed should be illegal. I hope this information causes you to consider the negative effects of legalizing recreationally use for weed. Thank you for listening.